Tragedies are made in heaven, earthly settings merely showcase the craftsmanship that has gone into their making. Robinson Street in central Calcutta cannot be called crooked, but it has always been a little off. The 75-meter-long stretch surrounded by the city's smartest streets, Park Street, Loudon Street, Theatre Road, Rawdon Street, has always been a bit of a wallflower. It was named after an erstwhile police magistrate of the city, Charles Knowles Robison. Robison is the architect of the very Grecian Metcalfe Hall on Strand Road, and naming a street after him would have been a neat tribute, except that by some twist of the tongue Robison Street came to be known as Robinson Street. According to the Kalikata Street Directory 1915, an H. Cowley lived at number 1 Robinson Street and a T. E. Trombley at number 2. And number 3 Robinson Street had a house attached to it. If you go by the 1915 directory, the house originally belonged to a D.P. Howe. In 2015, police found one Partho de cocooned in his apartment on Robinson Street for several months with the skeletons of his sister and 2 dogs and the charred body of his father. There were murmurs about necrophilia. In the House of Horrors, hidden notes, strange sex stories emerged from Kolkata police probe. It was found that Partha, 44, had been living with the corpse of his sister who had reportedly died in December last year. On June 11, 2015, the Kolkata police arrived at the doorstep of a house in central Kolkata as locals alerted them about thick smoke emanating from one of the windows. The charred body of a 77-year-old man was found inside one of the bathrooms in the house. A fully clothed skeleton of a woman was found in one of the bedrooms. 2 bags full of bones of dogs were also found in one of the rooms. The only living person, a man in his mid-40s, was also found in the house. Day, the police concluded, was mentally unstable. Not just that, before Day's sister died in December, the dogs had died in August. Apparently, the sister went into deep depression after the death of the Labradors, and the siblings refused to cremate the remains of the dogs either. The case has not stopped intriguing the city, as one macabre detail after another keeps tumbling out of the house. Partha, a former employee of software giant TCS, had lived abroad before moving to India. He had been living with the corpse of his sister for the past 6 months and the remains of his dogs for nearly 10 months. According to NDTV, De told the police that he loved his sister and dogs so much that he didn't want to part with them. Not only that, he told them that his sister's spirit visited him on days. He would also leave food for his dead sister next to her body. 77-year-old Arabinda De, Partha's father, who burned himself to death in the house on June 11, was unaware of the fact that his daughter is dead and her corpse is rotting in the very house he is living in. The forensic reports are still expected, so the police are still going with this statement about when his sister and dogs died. A report on the Times of India tries to reveal the consequences under which De's sister Debjani died. Partho was in custody and in a chatty mood, spoke to doctors for about 1.5 hours, during which he said Debjani had turned spiritual and had stopped taking food towards the end, restraining herself to only a few sips of water. It was further mentioned in the investigation by the police that the 3 occupants of the house, Debjani, Partha and their father Arabinda, all maintain diaries and notes, which are helping the police piece the puzzle together. Debjani's notes were crisply written, precise, and dated. Partha's diary entries were repetitive and slightly incoherent. Police have found several writings of Arabinda till April 15, where he mentions his plan to divide the property equally between Debjani and Partha. Police wonder why he would consider leaving Debjani a share if Partha had told him about her death on March 12, 2015. Some of the notes reveal sexual anxiety. For example, several of Partha Day's diary entries suggest that he was displeased with his mother, who died in 2002, because she thought he was impotent. One of the entries say that his mother used to send a maid-servant to his room because she suspected he was impotent. In an entry, Partho said that during an outstation trip, his sister, Debjani, had tried to get physically intimate with him. Given his mental condition, there are doubts about how much is real and how much is imagined. However, after investigation, surprisingly, neither the neighbors nor people visiting the house occasionally had smelled a stench. No one got a hint that there were rotting corpses in a room in the house. A security guard used to bring food for the desk thrice a day, but he didn't find anything suspicious either. Who was incarcerated in the Pavlov Mental Hospital, suffers from terrible body odor. Doctors say the odor is a result of infections he has contracted as he was in close contact with corpses for so long. He was mostly incoherent and agitated. He would scream "Jesus, Jesus," and occasionally holler at the doctors and attendants, screaming, "Touch me." He would only calm down when the doctors tell him that Jesus and Mary will come and touch him. 3 women psychiatrists had come to counsel Da. However, Da instructed one of them to see him. The moment she entered the room, Da asked her to take her clothes off. The psychiatrist told ABP News that such behavior is common in cases of psychosis. Day apparently calmed down after she told him to close his eyes and imagine Jesus and Mary were around him. Partha lived with his parents and sister for the better part of his 46 years, but loneliness remained a leitmotif of his life. Day's charred body was found in the toilet of the flat. Police are suspecting that he had committed suicide as petrol and some matchsticks were found close to his body. Da was an introvert and did not mingle with the neighbors, locals said. His father, Aurobindo Da, had also committed suicide after setting himself on fire in June 2015. If you like my videos, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you.